Rooney got the wrong side of Toure, who nibbled back at him, but it's a fine save by Jens Lehmann. To the Manchester United players, I don't know. I don't think Graham Poll had a clear view. The attendance, 70,908. A new Old Trafford record for a Manchester United Park, just ahead of the Arsenal defender.
Of course, you will miss him, but I don't think that our defeat was down to that. Our defeat was down to the fact we made mistakes at the back we don't usually make.
The defender saving with his hands, you'd be proud of that save, wouldn't you?
Had to see it in back in replay, but I think he could have held it also.
Where does this leave this Champions League race for fourth place?
Well, I believe that it leaves it open for us because we have a game in hand on Wednesday.
After this display, I'm very, very convinced that we will get there, because we just have two big quality in our team, and we will score, and then I'm quite convinced that we will win the rest of the remaining games of the Premiership.
The richest men in the universe. Got a great football team, great manager, terrible jackets. It's like gulag chic, prison uniform. What's that all about, Roman? Sort it out. Senderos, is he watching the ball or the player? No interest in the ball, just wanted to barge Rooney out the way. Talking of Rooney, don't like the sight of his left buttock there as he celebrates the goal. And I don't quite know what it is, but there's something about the size of his thighs here. I just doesn't seem quite right somehow. Can't quite put my finger on why. Now these women, I had them down as exhibitionists, except they can't be, because the moment they realise they're on the telly, look, up, down you go. Come on, one of them has a little peek up again now. Am I still on? Am I still on? Yes, I am. Yep, so back down she goes. Have another look at that. Fancy flick. No, do try and make contact with the ball if you can. And here's Steven Gerrard making some last-minute adjustments to his reproductive organs before he gets on. It's the attention to detail that marks him out as a great player.
It stood between Arsenal and an historic first semi-final.
It was the tie of matchday 9, but not for the Italians, brushed aside by a team playing some of the best football in the tournament all season. Goals from Fabregas and Henry moved the Gunners into pole position for the semis, but their star defender is taking nothing for granted.
I know that it's going to be a really hard game because we are going to play against a really different team, but we're still confident, and we will try to do our best like we did against Real Madrid.
A growing injury list and 2 dismissals at Highbury mean Juve will be under strength for the second leg, but the Italian champions will be no pushovers.
They still have some great players, you know, but we got some good players as well, like Fabregas, like Gilberto, and it's going to be a fantastic game, definitely. But we know that we can do something fantastic as well.
It was a difficult return to North London for ex-gunner Patrick Vieira, despite a warm reception from the fans, an inspiration to them and to his former teammates as well.
Patrick Vieira is my big brother, you know, because when I came here, he was the one who have helped me a lot with Canu, with Loren, with Rui Paulo as well. And I think that he was one of them who helped me a lot to be where I am. He talks to you all the time. He's always here to help you, to improve the way you play. When you have any problem, you just go to him. He helps you like he can, tell you the truth. And I think that's great spirit for a great player like him.
With just 2 goals conceded in the competition so far, Toure has cemented his place at the heart of the Arsenal defence. And in the continuing absence of Sol Campbell, he's the main man.
I need to be a leader, you know, because when I play with Sol, he lead the team really well, and when I play with Philip Sonderos, I think that I have some more game on my feet than him, and I need to lead the team. You know that is not an easy job to do, because you have to do your job, and then you have to help the other players to do their job, and it's not that easy as well. But you know, when you grow up and you improve the way you play, you need to improve the way you lead as well the team, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Juve's fans have seen their side dominate Serie A this season, but that comprehensive first leg defeat has led many to wonder if they'd peaked too soon.
The Juventus of 2 months ago would be capable of getting any result, even reversing a deficit of 2-0, which is very hard. 2.5 months ago, they were probably the most informed team in Europe, but now they've practically won the Scudetto. They arrive at this stage of the competition not in the best of form.
They do say form is temporary, but class is permanent. And on the biggest club football stage of all, their impressive array of superstars still had a chance of reaping revenge on Arsenal's artisans. It was always going to be physical, neither side prepared to give ground. And a scare for the Gunners, Gianluca Zambrotta's shot had Jens Lehmann scrambling. Then Thierry Henry slipped his marker, but couldn't beat Buffon. Juventus were the side that needed to score, but Arsenal were the side making the chances. Even centre-half Senderos prepared to try his luck. Fabio Capello's men were being overrun. The young Ivorian, Emmanuel Abui, got round the back, let down only by a lack of composure. Jose Antonio Reyes was booked. He'd missed the semi if Arsenal made it, and that was looking all the more likely. In the heat of battle, the Italians just couldn't create. Half-time came and went in a blur, and Trezeguet was a stud's length away from setting up a grandstand finish. Then Ibrahimovic, once a Highbury trialist, saw Lehmann grab his deflected shot. Time was fast running out. One final chance for Pavel Nedved, but still no way past the Gunners' pumped-up German keeper. Juve had 2 sent off in the first leg, and they lost their discipline again. Nedved already booked through the back of a buoy. Even their own coach knew it was over. And Arsenal nearly won the game late on. Buffon denied Freddie Ljungberg, but nothing could deny the Londoners a place in the semis for the very first time.
I said it so many times, you know, we defend together and we attack together. I mean, don't get me wrong, they've been brilliant away in Madrid, at home against Madrid, away against Juve, and at home against Juve. But it's a team effort. I think we defend well as a team, and we are going forward well as a team. And that is the key, don't get me wrong.
We faced a team that played well, a team very strong at the moment and very technical. We didn't manage to reverse the 2-0 deficit, but that's football. This has been a very difficult team to face, especially as they're so far unbeaten in this Champions League.
I think the most important thing for us was to not concede a goal, and I think that was done, and to not give them hope, and that's what we did.
But first, Sol Campbell will make his long-awaited comeback for Arsenal tomorrow night. Arsene Wenger has confirmed that Campbell will start the Premiership match against Portsmouth at Fratton Park, his first game since February. Thierry Henry is also expected to return, but Cesc Fabregas is out with a foot injury.
He's had to put up with being a spectator, but now he's ready to return. Sol Campbell will make his first Arsenal appearance in 10 weeks.
He will play tomorrow, and Senderos will be rested because he needs a little breather. I feel that it's a period of where he can help us, of course, because we need to rest Kolo as well at some stage, and therefore, of course, I'm very happy that he's back.
Campbell has not played since leaving Highbury at half-time during the match against West Ham when he wasn't in the right frame of mind. Injury followed and matches in the reserves, but with 6 Premiership games to go, his progress is likely to be closely monitored, not just by his club.
How important a period is this for Sol, not just from Arsenal's point of view, but from Sol's point of view as well?
Well, I feel for him it's an important period on Arsenal's point of view as well, and it's both have the same interest, of course, for him to help the team and show that he's back at his best. I know that behind your mind and your question is being national team as well, but I can understand that it is important for him, and I'm happy that he gives him a chance to come back into the squad. But we look at our interest first, and of course we are in a period where we want to take care of a Champions League spot for next season.
Thierry Henry, a substitute at Old Trafford on Sunday, is likely to start against Portsmouth. While Wenger says Ashley Cole continues to make progress and could be back in the squad next week. Ian Bolton, Sky Sports.
Thierry Henry got them going 10 minutes before half-time at Portsmouth with his 22nd Premiership goal of the season. Pompey have been showing great spirit in their fight against relegation, though, and came back midway through the second half. Lamana Lualua heading in the equaliser. His acrobatic celebrations misfired, though, a twisted ankle ending his involvement prematurely. Campbell's night was to finish early as well. A clash with Svetislav Todorov left him with a broken nose. He's since had a successful operation and should be able to resume his bid for inclusion in the England World Cup squad in a week's time.
Arsenal was always my team because of my idols who play over here with Cano, the person that gave me, and the person that if I see him playing, I enjoy, you know, the person that gave me a dream to be a footballer, because always when I saw him on TV, I want to play football too. I think it's very important for me.
Take us back. When did you first see Kanu on television?
When I was somewhat a little boy, and I saw him playing with the national team of Nigeria in Africa Cup of Nations. He was the best player of the tournament. Since that day, I think he was I don't know, he was my hero. You know, he was the person that I can say if I see him now, I can cry. I don't know. I have a lot of emotion now.
Have you modelled the way you play on him?
Of course, I learn of things, how he play. I know he can keep a very good ball because he have a chance. He's big. I learn a lot of him, of course.
You have the same number here that Kanu had. You have the same number for Togo that Kanu had for Nigeria. Do you deliberately go and ask them for those numbers?
Of course, of course.
Adebayor set up the goal for Henry in midweek, but otherwise had a night to forget.
Yeah, if I see him, I have to really kill him. we need him to score goals like that, so that it makes it easy for us.
I know I can score a lot because I have missed a lot too. But if I score four goals in 9 games, I think I can score better.
This is his first season, and I believe everybody have to give him a chance because he's going to do a lot when he's really settled right here in London.
Overall, I must say he's ahead of what I have planned for him.
He joined Arsenal in January, then went straight off to the African Nations Cup, but hit the headlines for the wrong reasons after a bust-up with the coach of Togo over being dropped for the opening game.
For the people who don't know who I am and how I live, they think I'm the small, arrogant boy. I'm not like this. I'm the person who laughs every day. You can ask the coach, the boss, you can ask everybody. I laugh every day, and in the training, I'm the person who work a lot because I have to work. I know I really need to work. But if I'm not happy with some things, you know, because I think I'm a human being, I have to say what I feel.
He could get the impression sometimes at the African Nations Cup that he was not completely on the same wavelength as his manager and as the rest of the team, and that was a concern for me. But I don't know what happened there, because since he has arrived with us, he has been completely different and fantastic for the team spirit.
And as Togo bowed out early, he came straight back and scored 20 minutes into his debut.
I think the person who was very, very happy about that is my mom, because all the critic was on me after this African Cup of Nations. Every time that I called her, she was always crying. I don't know what to do. I don't know, for me, my first match, it was very important for me because all the Togolese people, the fans, they think I was wrong. And after when they see the game, they quickly understand or understood that I was right.
For Kanu's West Brom, no win in 8, and they keep throwing away points on their travels.
Yeah, and that's why we are where we are now, because against Birmingham we're supposed to win, and against Tottenham we're supposed to get something from the game. So if you keep on losing points like that, it's difficult.
How desperate are you to try and put one over on your old side on Saturday and keep West Brom in this division?
Whatever it takes for us to stay up in this Premiership, that's what we have to do. So if it means that I'm going to score the last goal to win against Arsenal, I have to do it.
Now Adebayor can't wait to meet his hero.
What would it be like on Saturday if you're both playing against each other?
I think it's going to be, I don't know, for me it's going to be, maybe I can say that just the best day of my life.
He's desperate for your shirt on Saturday. You're just going to tease him and say no, you give him your shoelaces or something?
But it's good to play against players like that, and looking forward to meet him as well.
They gave me the number 25, they gave me his place in the dressing room. I think I'm very happy and proud. Now I'm going just to call him so I can send me some pictures, so I'm going to put him in my dressing room. I can see him every day.
Adebayor believes Arsenal will finish 4th. Kanu that West Brom will survive. By the time these two are swapping shirts, we'll be a step closer to knowing whether they're right.
Charlie Nicholas, Manuel Adebayor, rough diamond or just rough?
Rough diamond, in my opinion. I've been impressed by him. Obviously disappointed with the misses he had at Portsmouth during the week, Jeff, but he's been good for the team. Much better than there. And I think Thierry Henry, since he's come out of the team in the domestic front, has enjoyed a little bit more space because of that, with the partnership up front again. So I think he's been a big plus. I think next season this lad's going to be a big player for Arsenal. I was always a bit concerned that Arsenal are going to find it difficult to replace Dennis Bergkamp. And this season they've hardly played Dennis, but they've tried Van Persie, I think can gradually play that role. Not as good as Dennis, different. But I think Adebayor, instead of just having a plan A, I think Arsenal now, attacking-wise, have a plan B. And I think he's been a very clever signing. And I think next season he will be fantastic for the Gunners.
I think Arsenal like that man who just drops off the front man, which Thierry Henry's up there. And I'm not sure Van Persie is the answer. I don't think he sees him as being that role. I think he may be seeing him as playing on the left or something like that. But I think this boy has got the ability to bring to the team what Kanu did, which is get hold of the ball, be creative in there, in that area, play the ball quickly forward. I think he's a fabulous player, really good player. He'll get even better.
He's got pace as well, hasn't he? Yeah. You know, if you're comparing him to Kanu, he's a lot quicker over the ground. He's got good balance. I mean, he had a bad day at the office against Portsmouth. You know, 2 great chances he missed. But and Arsene Wenger, as he said in the interviews, is ahead of his development. You know, for what he thought, where he thought he would be at Arsenal at this stage.
What do you make of the Arsenal teams that Arsene Wenger's put out in the last couple of games, Matt? No Henry against Manchester United, and you know, a few changes against Portsmouth. Is he basically saying, look, you know, Champions League is our #1 priority, and whatever happens in the Premiership, you know, will be?
It seems that way without question. I was very surprised that Henry didn't line up against Manchester United. Couldn't really see what the thinking behind that was. Maybe he thinks that Henry was not looking as fresh as he
said. He hadn't recovered from games against Juventus and Aston Villa, but they beat Villa 5-0. How much can that take out of him?
Yeah, that would have been a bit of a cruise, but it was a little bit odd. I would have thought, looking at it, he'd probably maybe played him in that game and then rested him for the Portsmouth game, if anything. So that was a little bit strange, the wrong way round for me.
But he went with Song and Diaby in the middle of the park and rested Silva and Fabregas as well, and that's an important area of the pitch. And,
but despite that, Paul, they created a bag full of chances,
well, they did.
Didn't they, on the night?
They still played some very good football at times, and it was all about the chances or the missed chances. If they'd have taken their chances, they would have been out of sight. You know, no 2 ways about it.
I think when they came back from the European adventure, I think they looked at Old Trafford and thought it'll be physical. Yeah. And that's what he's done. And I thought he'd probably think, well, maybe if I get anything from Old Trafford, great. But then bring back the bigger guns for for this game, and they should have wrapped it up. It was the Arsenal of 3 months ago. They made plenty of chances. Sometimes it's just not your night, Jeff. But you know, I'm still convinced that obviously I believe Arsenal will get to the Champions League final. But I think they're convinced that 4th spot is the easiest route for next season's Champions League.
It may be, but I wonder if Arsene Wenger's looking at 4th spot and thinking, you know, in years to come when he looks back, you know, he's not going to look back with any affection at finishing 4th, is he, in the Champions League? But on his CV, winning a champion, finishing 4th in the Premiership, but winning a Champions League, that will look great.
I can take that point. Yes.
And the same applies to every Arsenal fan, doesn't it, realistically?
Well, it does. And if anybody had the choice right now and you say Champions League are not in the top 4, it's an easy decision for them to start the new stadium. But at the same time, Jeff, if you don't, it's an enormous risk that Arsenal have taken. You know, that they could potentially, if they don't win the Champions League and don't finish in the top 4, have no European football for the new stadium. That, with 60,000 and everything there, is a real downer to start your new campaign. So I still think they're focusing.
They'll have UEFA Cup. Still have European.
Probably, but there is a risk that might drop.
I see similarities with Liverpool last year. What Rafa Benitez was doing. Rafa was changing his team as they got on in that Champions League, and I think he said the same thing as Arsenal's probably saying, is that is too big a trophy to sort of pass up. You've got to go for it, you've got to grasp it while you can. It might not come again, and for them to get to the semi-finals, they've not been there.
They might not come next season somehow if they don't get full
I can understand that, but look, Rafa did exactly the same. He had his focus on going to win the Champions League, and I think Arsene is doing exactly the same. Liverpool didn't get it. Liverpool ended up finishing 5th. They won the Champions League.
So what you're trying to say is Liverpool didn't get in the Everton only got in the Champions League last year because Liverpool didn't try. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. No, it is. It's what he did, and he set his mind, and he changed his team dramatically in the league games last year because he was looking at it and he was saying that Champions League for Liverpool is a massive win.
One of the changes that he made on Wednesday night, of course, was the return of Sol Campbell, and poor old Sol, well, his nose ended up as a right mess. Phil Thompson. Arsene Wenger has said this week that despite the broken nose, he believes that Sol Campbell will definitely go to the World Cup. Do you?
Yes. Yes. I think he's big enough character to do it. I knew you were going to come to me for that one. Just knew it. Why?
Why?
I know why.
Well, obviously you're a central defender, and so is Sol Campbell.
I do. I think.
Tom was never broke his nose, has he?
It's too often.
No, seriously,
broke a few elbows.
But Tom, why would they take him when you bear in mind they've got John Terry, Rio Ferdinand, Jamie Carragher, Ledley King, and all play in the same position? And when there are fitness question marks in other positions about Ashley Cole and Michael Owen.
I agree. I think he will go. I think he's a big enough character. I still think he's a good defender. He might not play the games that he'll want to towards the end of the season now. I think he'll get a few games, but I think he will go, and I think England needs somebody like that. You never know what might happen. He's a big character. You can see even with the Arsenal lads, he can be a leader, and I think he did very well the other night.
I think the World Cup would suit him better, the condition his game's in, because it's not as frantic as what the Premiership games have been.
But would they not be better off taking, you know, somebody as cover for Michael Owen?
Well, I've been a big fan of taking extra forwards, but I think Sol Campbell has to go. I think experience, just sometimes when you can see, you look back, Jeff, last time when England were up against France and lost a couple of late goals, you take a striker off and just kill the game, put someone like Campbell on, I think is an issue that you have to look at. As much as I would always favour an extra striker, I think Campbell is a certainty to travel.
Let's just move on to West Brom, because I remember early in the season, Matt, that when they went down to Chelsea, Brian Robson wrote off the points and he played a weakened team. They're going to Arsenal, they've got Bolton at home on Monday. Is there any possibility that he'll do the same today?
Well, to be honest with you, Jeff, I think it's getting a little bit too close to the wire for him to be able to do that. It was fine early on in the season, plenty more games to play. He's not in that position anymore. I don't think he can afford to rest any of his top boys. He's got to give it a good go. I mean, Arsenal, you know, Arsenal may be looking at this and thinking it might be a little bit too easy and fall into the trap that Man United fell into last night. So I think he's got to play a stronger side.
They certainly need to start taking their chances, Paul. I think everybody will accept that West Brom playing some good football at the moment, no doubt, but just can't put the ball in the back of the net. That was the story against Villa again last week.
That's it, and it's just the pressure of the players and the lack of confidence and belief in front of goal. You know, when you're in that situation down at the bottom of the table, you need your strikers to be strong characters, you know, be mentally tough and to be able to deal with the situation that they're in. And it's not easy, but you know that's sometimes what makes the difference between the teams that stay up and the teams that don't.
Remember last season though, Jeff, Highbury got a draw, didn't they?
Yeah.
Brought Earnshaw off at that day. I remember doing that game, and could have won the game in the end. So, you know, I think Robbo could be cautious for a period of this game, but if you wait 20, 25 minutes on Arsenal, you know, it's going to come your way. You're going to lose goals because they will make chances and they probably will take them at home. But it's a big ask for them today. But I think he might actually risk a couple.
No, I don't think so. I think he's got to hope that Arsenal got the mindset on the Champions League, and they might just take the foot off the pedal. They might see it as Man United did last night, is that this is going to be 3 points anyway, and the accident can happen. So Robbo's got to go with his best team, focus that we need to have a win. We've got to go about doing our job, and that is Arsenal have an off day, and that can happen, and he might pick up the 3 points. I don't see it, but that's what he's got to be looking for.
Just going back to that derby, Lee Henry was absolutely furious about a tackle from West Brom's Paul Robinson. He could have snapped my leg in two. What do you make of this, Matt?
There's these kind of challenges, and it's a difficult one because the ball is there to be won. He's coming in at a bit of a funny angle, but I think he might. Yeah, I think he might have just taken his eye off the ball there. And Lee Henry is obviously...
Robinson said it's a 50-50. He said he went in hard but fair, as he always does.
It was a 50-50, but the fact that he missed the ball completely makes you think either his eyesight needs testing or he actually didn't want to hit the ball.
OK, let's get some predictions here. Curtis Davis, by the way, has said that he's aiming for 5 clean sheets between now and the end of the season, which strikes me as being a tad optimistic. However, Matt Le Tissier, Arsenal, West Brom.
I think an Arsenal victory.
OK.
Home win. Arsenal.
OK, Johnny?
Phil House.
OK. By the way, Arsenal, you can see their Champions League game, which is just around the corner now. Semi-final, Sky Sports 1, 7 o'clock.